Actually, Julian and I were just talking about that, about just as we were preparing for this and thinking about how it would go and what kind of the expectations of people who are tuning into it and what your expectations were. We just talked a little bit about that risk taking, and then through failure, you are pushed to try something new or challenged to learn something different. And so I would say it's been great with the release time. We've been creating things, but then also not being afraid to go back and be like, that didn't work. That no one's feelings are hurt.
And that's one thing that I've struggled with the de-streaming, is making sure we're getting to everyone and not holding anybody back in any kind of way. So I think that this kind of switch has helped with that move.
And we were just talking about ways to increase the cognitive load of labs in general, but he was applying it to this lab. And so there was discussion from that, a paper towel lab that was pretty straightforward, where you were just maybe testing for absorbency or something like that, and it was pretty scripted. And similar to what Sean did, they connected it to a purpose. There was one activity that was kind of came from this book, 5 Practices for Orchestrating Productive Task-Based Discussions in Science. And it's interesting, I haven't read the whole book, I've read a few pages, and that's sort of what springboarded the activity. So what I like about this is that they all look different, but you can see the science in what they're pulling from that, and what they're coming up with was pretty exciting. And that was early on in their, I think it was within the first 10 days or less.
Yeah, it was very really early. Something that we're finding with a lot of these more Thinkified labs is they take way longer than we expect they're going to. And so we allot something, we think like we're being so very generous giving it a full class, and then it ends up taking 2 full classes or 3 full classes, or like it's just, there's no real way to tell how long it's going to be. I'm working through one right now. We're doing a Thinkified version of an eco-jar lab. And I thought the whole thing would be done in 3 periods of work time. There'd be, gaps in there for growth, but I've spent 4 already, and we're just getting started. And I think it's great because when they're in it and when they're thinking, and you don't want to stifle them, you don't want to stop them, you want it to continue because you see the value in it. But then you have to make allowances somewhere else.
We swung too far the opposite direction, where it was just too freeform, and what we're finding is that we need to find that perfect balance of structure and play for them. And so I think that through our own learning, that's what's kind of encouraging us to keep reworking. We haven't tried Rainbow Lab 2.0, but we're excited to.
Yeah.
It looks better already.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Just wait till 3.0. I would say do it with like a group. We keep pushing collaboration with our students, and because we know that that's so valuable. And I would say that collaborating as professionals is also very valuable, because our classes are different, so we're going to get different perspectives. We all have different backgrounds from different schools and different experiences, and so I think the collaboration piece is huge. I think there's some vulnerability there. I noticed, or when I first was
being vulnerable, but also like giving yourself some grace that it's not going to work every time, and that's okay. And also that like you don't have to jump in 2 feet all at once. Like take one piece of one lab and say, you guys make an observation table, and call it at that for one. Like, if you're just starting and it feels so overwhelming to make the entire thing Thinkified, pick an aspect, let them write their own conclusion, completely open-ended, summarize what you thought, make the analysis. Pick one aspect of the lab and just let that be, and then go from there.